What's up, guys? Welcome back. My name is Jen Neal, and Happy New Year, everybody. So what I'm doing is I'm dispersing my pigments to be able to add them to resin. This is the primary elements from Colourarte, the art pigments, and I almost messed up and added them to the resin by themselves, and then Leslie was kind enough to tell me how to do it. So ultimately, it's kind of the same principle. They have to be dispersed first. You know, you can use acrylic paint. You can use the Vivid Polypore. You don't want to use a lot of this, but you can use a little bit, just enough to make a paste. So I'm going to show you exactly how to do that. The other thing you can do is you can add acrylic paint instead and use that as your dispersant. So there's a couple other things I have in the works that I am going to try, but for this piece today, that's what we're going to go with. So this is the orange peel. For those of you who know me, orange makes me go bananas. So I figured it was kind of fitting to make that on camera for you guys. I already made off camera, I made some hot cinnamon, which is only a little bit because I just want it as an accent. But I basically took like an eighth to, no, it was more like a quarter of a teaspoon of the hot cinnamon, which is that guy, and then I had mixed it with some Artist Loft metallic red. You can use a spoon like this. I also have metal spoons that I had gotten on Amazon. They go all the way down to a 64th, so yeah, but you can do that. You know, her spoons are pretty much about just a little bit bigger. These are deeper, so I'm not exactly sure the exact amount of a little spoon, but just for the sake of this, I'm just going to dig in and get a quarter of a teaspoon of the mica pigment. And wait a minute, I want to put my liquid in there first. God, I always have to make things so difficult for myself. You can also put some acrylic paint and some of this. I did another piece the other day and it dried fine. So you could disperse it first with the Vivid Enamel, the Polypore. It's basically 100% acrylic polymer, so it's a binder. There's a couple other things you can use if you don't have that. You can use gel gloss. This will make your resin colors transparent though, okay? I also have heavy gel gloss, which I haven't tried yet, but ultimately I believe that is kind of the same thing, maybe a little more semi-transparent. And then Liquitex also has a gel gloss as well, but they call it, gel gloss. So if you look on the back, it'll tell you soft gel consistency, retains brush strokes, extends paint volume while increasing transparency. So ultimately it's going, if any of these colors are semi-transparent or translucent to opaque, this is going to make them lighter. So that's, depending on what you're trying to do, that's why I would recommend adding an acrylic paint that is opaque, so it will deepen the color. But if you add too much of the acrylic paint and then you add it to the resin, it can sink. So you have to be careful with that as well. Like a blueberry sized of the Vivid Polypore, okay? Let's see if I can do this without screwing it up. Just pour it in there like that, right? And then I'm just trying to keep it in the corner here. I'm not trying to spread it all throughout my cup, although I failed the last color. So, and you know, you just want to kind of stir it in circles, and that's essentially the extent of it. You just want to break it up and dissolve it into the Polypore. And then, you know, like I said, if you want it more opaque, then that's when you can add an acrylic paint and make it more opaque. But ultimately, like I said, the Polypore is 100% acrylic polymer. It's just a little more liquidy than the acrylic polymer that I have used before. So you don't need a lot of it. And that's the extent of it. So there you have it. my color needs to be burnt orange, and orange peel I think is just perfect for what I'm going for. And you know, you can never add more than 10% of your pigment or paint to the resin of your volume. So you know, I can't break it down for you right now because I have no idea exactly how much resin I'm going to use in each color, but essentially it's no more than like a scoop or 2 scoops or a squirt of paint, you know, in the top of your cup. If it's really, really transparent, you can add a little bit more, but if you add too much paint or pigment or mica to your resin, it will not cure properly. It'll be soft and squishy, and it hasn't happened to me, but I've seen a couple videos of it where people had to totally either ditch their substrate or they had to heat it up really hot and then scrape it with a scraper. Don't set yourself up for that, okay? So, anyway, I'll stir this a little more, probably. Just make sure everything is totally mixed in. Probably have to make a little more, too. So, as a matter of fact, let's do that. I do want that a little heavier. I don't want it transparent, so we can add some of the metallic orange to it. And this is an opaque color, okay? So it's just basically, I don't know, maybe a really large blueberry, right? So we're just gonna mix that in. I always like to disperse the pigments first because it's easier to mix that way. Okay. And there you have it. I mean, it's still the same color. Like, it might have lightened just a tad, but ultimately, that's what we're going for, right? So, I'll just make sure it's all off my stick. If you're going to use just regular acrylic paint, I actually pulled something down earlier. I was so devastated. It was one of my first resin paintings that I did. It was on a tile, and I dropped it in the driveway, and the tile broke. It's bent because it's been hanging over a thing now for a while, but it busted right off the tile, and that's all I got left of it. So I'm thinking about maybe cutting it up, doing something with it. I have no idea. You know, when we come across stuff, it's hard to get rid of it because your brain's always going, you know what, I could probably use that for something else, or yeah. So anyway, that's essentially the color. You can always wipe it on a wipe your popsicle stick on a paper towel, and you can actually see kind of like the end result. I have like a purple. I don't know if you can really catch it on camera very well. I'll try to shine it towards the light, but it's very deep and bold. It's like a blackberry. You know, the name of it is, it's right here, Vavoom Red, and yeah, that's a perfect name for it. I love it. So I think between all those colors, you know, trying to do like a red, a burnt orange, a purple, a gold, and then some kind of brown. The autumn leaf, actually we can do that real quick too. So the autumn leaf is more of like a bronzish, brownish color. So this will happen the same way, except just with the vivid enamel. I'll just put twice as much down. Add any acrylic to this, I don't think. And if I do, I'll just have to add more. But yeah, I'm just doing a scoop like that right in there. And I just kind of fold it in. I don't try to, like, you know, whip it or until it's all mixed in. Then I start kind of squishing it against the sides and making sure it's all dissolved. See, I've already messed up and made my way up the side of the thing. But what are you gonna do, right? So let's add a little more. It dissolved really quick, so I can tell that this one is definitely like lighter than the orange peel or the hot cinnamon. Oh god, the hot cinnamon is pretty difficult to mix in. That's why I did that one off camera. It'll mix, you just gotta really work it. So yeah, but that one's all dissolved now, so you can see you'll have some air bubbles. I usually let it sit for a little bit and then come back to it and mix it again. But yeah, that's what that color basically is gonna look like. So there you have it. Alright, you guys, so we are going rogue. I mean, all in, everything that I've got is probably going into this piece. I mean, I know you see that I've spray painted my substrate. It's just to give it some depth. I mean, I have like a pattern in my head how I want to go about it, but it never happens that way with resin. Resin kind of does whatever it wants to do. So I love these cups. You can get them at Lowe's or Home Depot. You can mix resin on a larger scale. If you have carpal tunnel like me, my hands hurt all the time, so I got this. As long as you run it through alcohol when you're done, like just as soon as you're done mixing, disconnect the port and soak it in a cup of alcohol. It'll wipe right off. So I'm going to be using Permarine. A 12 by 24 piece, it says to use like 10 ounces of resin. But since I'm going to be moving stuff around and putting down a base coat and everything else, we'll probably go up to 16. That's a pint. So that's 8 ounces of the epoxy and 8 ounces of the hardener. think I'm filming, damn it. So here she is, all dried. I added this in last night. I had to. But look at that, you guys. I am so super happy with this. I hope my person doesn't like it so I can keep it. Hey guys, I hope you liked today's video. If you haven't already, click the circle resin inspire button to subscribe to my channel. If you ring the bell, you'll be notified instantly of any future uploads. Thanks for watching and see you next time. Bye.